So tell me, what's it like with this whole process and getting onboarded and getting rolling? What's the experience overall been?
Yeah, it's been really good. I think like the most important thing is you guys understand our audience, and when you guys understand our audience, like we don't have to do much explaining. And like in the past, we've had people that work with us and they didn't get it right. Like you guys are connected with the audience, and you guys understand different types of audiences. So that was perfect. And the second thing was the delivery, the time of it. It's always quick. So that's really great. And then overall, I mean, uh, we've actually seen a lot of growth too. When it comes to our content, like I like some of our reels, and it's getting like 600 views each reel, and it's like 5,000 or 6,000 now on average. And the last TikTok I put out, I got like 50 followers, which is crazy. So I mean, it is a process of learning and refining the process. You guys have been great at telling us what to do as well. So it's been really great so far.
Dude, I love that. So I remember when we were onboarding, you weren't able to make it to like our YouTube like planning session. What was it like getting able to just see that as just like a recording now, which is like going to be included as like a part of like Kaizen University, which is like a part of rolling out for all our clients to be like continuous growth type of deal. What do you think about kind of like that process where we kind of take you from idea to outline or script? What was that like for you?
It's been really good. I mean, the consulting element of it is like what a lot of people don't talk about. The actual consultant, like the strategy, and that's the part that like I think a lot of people will struggle on, because anyone can get in front of camera like at scale once they've done a lot of videos. Like they can be comfortable with a camera, but understanding the scripting process, understanding the audience, understanding what YouTube incentivizes, like that's what is like the good part, right? Because for us, I mean, we're not creators, but I mean, and nowadays, like you have to sort of become a creator to, be able to capitalize, right? So like one of the things that we noticed was that you guys were able to provide us a consulting element, which was great. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And you guys don't even have the scripts with those, which is kind of crazy that you guys have found success this quickly, and you guys don't like aren't as like involved. Like you guys aren't spending the most you could, you know, which I think is like is really good. At least it shows to me that like there's some proof of concept in how we're teaching you scripting. You know.
Correct. Yeah, I mean for us, like we actually like are a little bit behind on our schedule, because like we have 8 videos a month we're trying to pump out, and for me it's like finding the time, but like this is like the number one priority right now for me, like getting the content out and the personal branding. So I mean definitely really really important for us. But so far what we've like implemented from what you guys have shown us is working great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really love that. What would you say? Have you guys had any success as far as like starting to get some traction like within your niche? Like, has the content actually been effective for you guys breaking into that niche, getting a little bit deeper into it, or has it built still been like just kind of like stagnant? Because I think we launched you guys May 11th, which puts you guys at 16 days from launch or 17 days from launch of putting out content. Have you guys started to see any traction at all?
Yeah, like a lot more DMs, definitely, and we actually had like some of our prospects. Like, I mean, we work in the real estate industry, but like our content inside the Facebook group and my profile, like people have been messaging saying like it's really good, it's really valuable. Some comments as well on the YouTube videos. So it's definitely growing. I mean, it's something that is really good, because like we spend a lot of money on advertising, and it's like people always looking at our emails, thousands of people, and they'll click on our YouTube link, and then they want to do some research, and if there's good content that is really highly edited, like I think one of the videos that was edited was actually our company content, and we sent that to our list, and some really good feedback from that. So I mean, it just helps, right? Like it nowadays, it's like you want to make sure your editing is professional. So the editing part of it's like just only one small component. It's not the whole thing, anyways, right? But that was really really big for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So it's help your internal team, which is like it's actually like something like really interesting. Like we haven't really seen. I think you're actually one of our like well, you're our biggest client currently, and help you guys with like a lot of different things. And it's something that I really enjoy seeing like the success at least happening so quickly. Because I remember when you started out with us, or like I'd seen your content before, and I was really worried. I was like, like, hey, the concern here isn't so much like if I can make them good, or like, but it's like these accounts have had such low views for a period of time, or like an extended period of time. It's like, man, breaking out of that might be particularly hard. And now you're seeing, I think last time it was like sub 600 views is like kind of like where you were capping out at. That wasn't even your average. I think your average was closer to like 400, and now you're seeing 4 to 5 to 6,000 views on videos regularly, which is really good. It's like validates that like the editing is working there. I don't know if I have many more questions for you. I guess any negatives, any struggles that you guys have faced with this? So like, is the ClickUp too complicated? Did we throw too much at you?
No, not really any negatives. Like, I mean, it's not with you guys or anything. It just like with anything that's like you got to learn the skill sets. Like, especially being a creator nowadays, it's like you need to do the studying on your own on the side, right? In order to get successful. You guys help a lot with that process. But like, I mean, I'm always reading on, the strategies on YouTube and the content. That's something that everyone should do, right? Not just sort of leave it up to you guys, which is, that's not expecting to do, right? Like, which is, if anyone's trying to achieve success, which a lot of your clients are here to work with you to achieve viral growth, they should also doing a little bit of studying on their own, right? And they should know, after all, it is your brand, right? So you want to make sure that you're protecting it and you're learning about what's working now. Like, I'm always reading about content and what works right now, right? Because I know a lot of my content, it can always use improving. So, I mean, that's the only thing. It's not even a negative working with you guys. It's just like something that you need to account for before you start something like this.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And so you guys, so one of the things that you mentioned earlier was the fact that like we kind of understood you, and I know you guys have been. It seems like you guys have been searching for a while because being logged into those accounts, like I see constantly like the DMs come through, like all the some of the other folks and stuff like that. But it's like why Kaizen? Like why'd you guys choose us to kind of roll with? And then how has that kind of been reflected at least in the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think the most important thing was like there's like a lot of like if you look at the goal that a lot of people are actually trying to achieve with their content, it's virality and getting an audience, right? Now, of course, there's a lot of moving parts to it, and I think a lot of people are very new to the content space, especially business owners. Like if we're talking about B2B and B2C people, but they need like a little bit of an understanding of what's actually required, and they might not even get into B2B. Like they don't know there's so many moving parts to it. And they actually more so need the consulting element of it, and that's what you guys offer. And of course, there is also like the done for you element where you guys edit the videos, and that's also been really like that. Everything is sort of all in one, which is great, right? Like you can come in all in one. And the other thing is like you guys understand the audience, which the other good thing is as well is like I think you guys have a lot of clients that are also business owners, which allows you to have like sort of a mastermind element to it, right? I mean, people come in and you're able to extract data points, and it's like a flywheel. The experience gets better for everyone, right? You're able to extract data points, and I mean, there's other folks in there. We can see what's working for them, and we can implement on our side. So, I mean, it's definitely a great experience in that form.
Yeah, I think that's really good because like we're able to adapt. Like we see so much data come in. Like we're able to adapt very quickly. Like we're already starting to see some fatigue from like the Hormozi style editing, and a lot of our clients want to be like resistant to it, and so like we're respectful of that. But like the big thing is like there's other accounts or like other clients that like are willing to test this other kind of things out, and like we're starting to see like just that slight different variation in how we produce content. Like it's starting to kind of drive some attention, and so that's really good. Yeah, so Kaizen was able to offer you kind of like the one-stop shop compared to like other folks. Like were they mostly just offering like the editing piece? Was it mostly like they were just offering kind of like one piece of the segment, and you like that was the hassle?
One of the biggest things was like we talk to other people, right? And let me see the scope of the project. Let me go back to my team. Let me go this. Like a month, we didn't hear back from people for weeks, and you guys are like, all right, guys, you guys told us within a couple of days. Like this is scope. This is how much it's gonna charge. This is it, and we're like, okay, let's get the ball moving. Like I swear, we talked to like 3-4 people, and like I'm gonna talk to my creative team. I'm gonna talk to my storytelling team, and I'm like, at the end of the day, like if you look at what most people want, they just want the end result, right? They just want to get going, and they just want to get the content out there. And we didn't want to wait a month to get a quote from a storytelling team and from someone it was just like, you guys understood the narrative. Like you guys were like, you know what, you guys want to get started right away, and most people do want to get started right away, and let's get this rolling, right? So here's what's included. Let's get you guys started. And that was like one of the main reasons why we just pulled the trigger with Rick and guys, because you guys understood, right? And that's one of the things. Like, I mean, I think you guys' audience who's want to work with you, like B2B people that are trying to implement content into their business. I think you guys get it. It's like what they want, right? So, which is really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what would be the main two things that you would recommend to somebody who is on the fence or like is going to pull the trigger on something like this? Like, what is the commitment going to look like for them as far as like, especially like somebody like them, like you guys, right? That you guys don't get the scripts from us. Like you just went through our onboarding process. It was very thorough. I'd like to say, you know, we broke down kind of like, hey, this is the content guide, how you should frame stuff, all that kind of good stuff. And then we walk you through TikTok scripts, YouTube scripts. And even now, like we're seeing like your business partner, like we're not seeing the same growth and traction on his end. And like instead of us like, you know, typically we might charge like a consulting fee on something like an hour or something like that. And I was just like, dude, like let's just get on a call, like let's fix this, because I want to see you guys succeed as much as you guys want to succeed as well. But it's like, you know, in that process, what would be like the main two things you would say, like, hey, I'm gonna jump on the content bandwagon, I'm gonna go all in on producing content. What would those keys to growth and success look like for them?
First thing is like you can't go into something like this and expect immediate like return. And even then, it's like the ROI is actually a function of your own abilities, not the team, the content team. The content team is doing their job and they're doing a great job. So that's the first thing. Is like you cannot blame the partner for not delivering. Like if your goal is to have a monetary return from this, look yourself first and not the team, right? Oh, I'm putting out content, why I'm not getting sales, blah blah blah. That might be the first thing. Second thing is I've seen a lot of people like they won't actually, like I don't know, I work with like thousands of clients in a lot of different industries, and I just think the average person doesn't put in the work required. Like they buy a course or mastermind or consulting or program, and they don't put the work in. Like we have people that pay us like 15 grand and they don't put the work in. So I mean, when you're putting something like a content strategy together, like you have to put the work in to reap the benefits, right? Like as easy as it may sound, a lot of people don't, which is why they don't get the reward, right? So I think, you know, if you're actually going to invest in that, the key point being is like actually put the work in and, you know, implement, and not only that, like study on the side and make sure that you're always improving, not just throwing out content. I know a lot of people that just sort of this content dump and they have no strategy, which is not something smart.
Yeah, cool. So it's not on the content team to make sure that you succeed as far as like ROIs, and then two being that success is like you have to put in some work. Yeah, like be a student of your craft, right? I think that's one of the things that you guys actually talk about a lot. And I think when I was kind of going through my evolution of a businessman or an entrepreneur, I think early on I was like, oh, I got to be, you know, this like hard hitter closer, or I got to be, you know, some like, you know, master whiz at all these different things. I was like, my degree is going to help solve all these problems for me. And then I got to the end of that road and I graduated to have my 4-year degree and all these different things. And I started my consultancy, and then I was like, I don't know anything. Like, you know, like I know foundationally like what's good or like how to build culture, like foundationally, like at a very high level, but then like you get into the weeds of it and it's like, well, the reality is that like my success in car sales, my success in insurance, like my failure in, you know, BDR at a corporate level, all those became a piece of the pie that so many people overlook. Like people just like, they're just like, oh, I just like screw the 9 to 5, screw the college thing. But it's like, to this day, like there's things from my college that I do pull from. Like I opened up my old textbooks and like I'm like, okay, no, I think this is relevant now for me. So like I have to go through those case studies. It's like people like to skip the part of like the grunt work, and I think that that's kind of like part of like the tough part for you is like you're having to make time for something like content. You have to dedicate time for something like content to build that craft, to become a master of it, to then be able to leverage it for it to be something that you can pull on at like with levity, right? With something that's like easy to pull on for you to like cash out on that ROI. And you guys even came in, I think that's why you guys are a great fit for us. You guys came in and you're like, yeah, we're not looking to do anything or monetize for the next 6 to 12 months. Even then, we're not even sure if we want to monetize.
Yeah, it was just like a personal brand effort, like just to supplement our own like marketing, you know, just to provide more value to our, like we have a huge email list. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like a lot of people uh, like if people were like, I'm too busy for this, I don't got time for this, right? Well, I mean, that's fine, but like, don't say it later on that you didn't get the success you wanted because you didn't put the content, because content compounds, right? It's not like linear. So yeah, I mean, overall it's been really great so far, and we're only looking to do more. I mean, we're probably going to ramp up the content to 3 to 4 videos a week, and doing 3 to 4 TikToks a day and short form content. So I mean, we're just going to be ramping.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear that. That's awesome. Yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much for your time, man. I really do appreciate it. I think this is something that's really, really good. And on top of that, like, you being able to give us like some of your time to like interview, especially running your business. I know it's time is money, so I really do appreciate it. I want to thank you for this.